Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. I went to the wrong screen. I wasn't prepared, but hey, you know what? Get on over here. We don't need that. How's it going, everybody? My name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer, and it is Friday once more. Now, tragically, it's not a Kobold Scarecase Friday, which means we're not sitting back playing video games today, but we're still doing one of my favorite things, talking about Kobold Press and ttrpgs and all the cool gaming stuff that we've got waiting for you. Now, gosh, we have a lot of stuff. Well, we don't have a lot of stuff to go over. We have some stuff to go over and an interview with one of our Kobold Creates partners, Baddie Bards. And by me saying one of them, I do mean the whole cast of their actual play, which I'll get into in just a bit, but it was super cool talking with them. I love horror, so listening to them talk about all the weird ways they use the Labyrinth to tell their horrific story of just a lot of sad boys crying and going through the worst of it. But we'll get there. We've got other stuff to talk about. Let's go to the other screen that I already took us from, so we could go there and we could go look at that. Cool. All right, everybody. So a couple of things that we need to go over. The All Hallows Eve sale is still up and going on the Kobold Press store. I'm going to put this link for you all in the chat. Did I post it twice? No, I only posted it once. Amazing. Let's look at this. So the All Hallows Eve sale means that you can get 31% off of the following games. We had some stuff going on for like the first half of October, and like I think just like a couple of days ago we switched it on to some new stuff. So we still have some Warlock Layer 2 PDFs from the old Warlock magazines, which, man, what a days. The black and white like art days of Kobold Press back when we were doing Warlock scenes. Like, look at this bad boy. Ugh. Just like the line work, the shadows, the detail. It's just something about these black and white illustrations I adore so much. And this one specifically, let's take a look. Warlock Zine Undead. Rise of the Mimic Moon is great. You love it when no, you don't love it when the Mimic is a moon, actually. But it's still super cool when it is. Let's see. So the Warlock Undead. The topic is undead, with options including undead magic, a rogue subclass, the ghoul Imperium deserter background, some truly skin-crawling planar locales, a legendary villain, and a new PC race. This booklet esteemed selections and designers are Wolfgang, Kelly Pollack, Chris Harris, and Dan Dillon. See, this is back in the Warlock days when we were doing just weird stuff like this. I love the stuff we're doing now, but it's just very different, you know? All Hallows Eve, it's the night before All Hallows Day, not a piece of architecture. You know what? You're right. It's Eve. Oh, Eve. I guess I'm saying it. I'm sorry. I'm putting a little too much of a pronunciation on the Eve part of it. That's my bad. I'm sorry. But some of the other stuff that we have for the All Hallows Eve sale is the Rise of the Mimic Moon PDF, which is, I mean, I feel like the art should tell you what this adventure is in and of itself. You got some good Majora's Mask moon coming down, and I guess in this way it's eating people, which isn't normally what they do, but hey, you know, what you gonna do? So yeah, that is that. You could also get, let's see, yes, Tome of Beast 2 Pocket Edition specifically, and getting the Foundry license key, as well as getting Tome of Beast layers 2, Tome of Beast 2 layers on Shard, and then one of our newer adventures that we made, Lady of White Rose Manor, where you have to stop an evil vampire guy. It's the spelling, not pronunciation, but meant in fun. Oh wait, no, did I misspell it and I didn't notice? I did. I super misspelled it and I didn't notice. Look at me. My ADHD, it's doing its job. making me misspell words. Thanks, Gerbo. But yeah, so this offer goes until the end of October, where you could just get any of these cool things for 31% off. It's a scream of a deal. Some of the copy is just really funny. All right, next up, what do we got? We have the Drive-Thru RPG sale. Oh, yes, because Drive-Thru RPG has its own Halloween sale. And I'm just going to give you a little link that is going to make this way easier than me trying to tell you how to go through Drive-Thru RPG's UI. Just go straight to this link where it'll filter out all of the Kobold Press products, and you can see there is so much here that is, it's like all of, I think they found all of the like horror stuff, you know? All of the horror stuff is has been discounted. So you've got Book of Eventide, Empire of Ghouls, Tale from the Shadows, Tome of Beast 2, Demon Cults and Secret Societies, and a bunch of stuff that you can go. Yeah, it's a lot of like, it's so much. We've got a lot of stuff that technically falls a little bit under horror, I guess. All of our very spooky. God, it's so much. Is it just everything? I think all of our stuff might have just fallen under this, or at least a lot of it. These are just like the most popular stuff. And there's a bunch of them that are under $5, which are now also even cheaper than just being like $4.99, because you could get Trollfall for $2.75. That's cheaper than like buying a bottled soda at the store. You could get a whole adventure. That's hours and hours of fun. So, you know, just think about that, I guess. But yeah, I believe this offer also goes until the end of October. So you still got a couple of weeks before, you know, you can get it. So head on over and do that soon. Next up, we've got some new. So it's been a hot second. So we've actually had some time on Kobold Chats to talk about the things that have come out. We've talked about it during the scare case. We did a whole bunch of stuff talking about it outside of Kobold Chats, but I want to sit down and talk about them with you right now. We'll go into more deeper dives of some of these books in the near future, but as of right now, hey, I'm just gonna point them out to you, and we're gonna tell you to look at them, and then we'll take a deeper look later on. So if we head on back over here, Book of Blades is finally out. It's out of pre-order. It's heading to stores. It's heading to your houses. If you've already pre-ordered it, it's on the way. And if you haven't gotten it yet, you can get it right now. Why always evil vampires? Why not morally complicated vampires? I think that's a good question. I think, you know, there's some narratives out there for some morally complicated vampires. I think in, like, you know, heroic high fantasy, we tend to make vampires evil because they tend to either just be like heroes. Sometimes they can be a little bit of an anti-hero depending on the story. I think one of the big ones right now is like Strahd, right? And Strahd is just like a bad guy, and like a lot of the vampires under him are also pretty bad and like not very morally complicated characters. But I do think that having some more nuanced vampires, some vampires struggling with that inner beast, that hunger, that temptation. What does it mean to have to live with that hunger in a way that you actually can still like coexist with society, and like maybe have ways to like be able to, you know, feed ethically, whatever that would look like. That'd be cool. I'd be interested in seeing that, especially if there's like a civilization of people who have to live with undead, and like how those two things interact. I think that'd be super cool. Book of Blades. I want tropical vampires. So, hey, here's the thing about vampires. They don't like the sun. I don't know if you know that. So I don't know. I mean, they could be tropical. They could be on the beach at night. That's kind of cool. Night beach vampires. They go surfing out at night. Okay. I'm back in. I'm back in, actually. Wait, what does this say? No, stop that. There we go. Not the way our DM played her. Strahd was complex and sympathetic. Her. Oh yes, I've seen the talk to. Yeah, I did end up talking myself. If I give myself enough time, I can mold an idea in a way that makes it better in my brain. So you know, once you get there, you get there. But I do love changes to like Fem Strahd, and I think it's very interesting, like exploring Strahd's story from that angle, and like the ways it has to change, just by necessity of like the differences and like gender and expectations, for someone in Strahd Station pre-vampire. But guess what? This isn't about that. You've just found out I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about Strahd. But you know what you should be learning about? Book of Blades, where we've got a whole bunch of new. Oh no, my seat's starting to sink a wee bit. Ixalan, the MTG, has tropical vampires. Ooh, I don't know a bunch about Magic the Gathering lore, and maybe this just means I need to. Period. End sentence. Book of Blades. We have a bunch of new martial options for your characters, because you know our fighters and rogues out there end up getting left in the dust behind a lot of our magic users, because magic gets really, really powerful. And so we made a bunch new options for our sword wielding friends, and like 14 new subclasses and talents and weapon options, new combat options for every single martial class. And next week we're looking at Book of Blades, because I really want to know what some of this stuff is. We've got rules for intense single combat and duels, wrestling matches, so much more. There's just a bunch of stuff that you can use to really give the like quote-unquote mundane martial aspects of your game just a little bit more like kick, which I think is dope. Hey Hawkeye, how's it going? Greetings. Strahd annoys you. I cut your teeth in old World of Darkness. Strahd is such a pathetic character. Yeah, he's a pathetic man. He's a very pathetic man. So true. I'm not allowed. No, but you should be allowed to run Curse of Strahd again, but make him pathetic. It's okay for him to be. A lot of very powerful people are also very pathetic, and there's something about that I think we need to unentangle for ourselves, and explore and understand why. But Book of Blades, that's not pathetic. It's cool. It's a fight club you'll talk about. I'm going to toss this link, because I don't think I've already done it, into the thing. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this was, so a lot of the stuff from Book of Blades here is going to be updated material from the previous Book of Blades series, as well as a bunch of new things that are Tales of the Valiant oriented now, rather than just like D&D, which you get a lot of the weapon options and backgrounds and things of that nature, and talents and stuff like that. Hey Kendo, what do you mean? All right, so that's Book of Blades. That came out recently. You know what else came out recently? The Monster Vault 2 is in stores now, and you can get Monster Vault 2, as well as you can get it, the Fantasy Grounds license key, and slowly we'll have more of the VTT keys as well. You can also get the Art of Kobold Press, which I think is really cool. It's a nice coffee table book. It is a visual history of Kobold Press from our earliest days to like our our huge like mid late to like 2010s era, to the current era of Kobold Press and the Tales of the Valiant era, and looking at it through all of the art that we've done. And you'll see a lot of progress work, like seeing like concept art become like a finalized illustration. You'll just like a lot of cool stuff that maybe you haven't seen, because maybe you haven't seen it in that book, but also a lot of quotes and like and stories from the people who helped make that art or helped commission that art, to talk about, hey, why did we need this? What was the process? What were the different iterations that came over this? Like, there's so much here for lovers of art, especially like RPG art, and lovers of Kobold Press. The Art of Kobold Press is a book you're going to want to get, and it only comes in hardcover. Can't get it in PDF. And it's also I think it's going to be a limited run, so like act quickly, because there might not be enough by the time you want to get it as a holiday gift for your favorite nerd, you know. Why is there no Rule 20 version, or am I missing it? I have the Tome of Beasts, etc. on Rule 20. More monsters are always welcome. I'm pretty sure the Tome of Beasts books, including Creature Codex, should be on Rule 20. There's a chance they might not be, and the reasoning for it is Roll20 hasn't done it yet. It's not really. We are not the people who. Oh, you mean the new stuff? Yes. Tales of the Valiant currently is not on Roll20 because Roll20, despite our original conversations with them and like trying to work towards it, has not finished the work in order to make Tales of the Valiant available on Roll20. And so until that happens, tragically, Tales of the Valiant will not be on Roll20, and we do not have an estimate of when that is going to happen, because we have to wait for them to let us know. We are also very disappointed by that, but, you know, we're doing the best we can. So I would say, if there is, if I could sway you to any other VTT, there are a bunch of other ones that do have it. My personal favorite being Shard, but you can find a bunch of it on Foundry. I think of the anvil on the Foundry thing and I go, oh, World Anvil. That's not what it is. It's Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Shard, and like quite a few other ones, which you can find on the store. So you can get the Art of Kobold Press, which is cool and full of art that we all love. And then also Monster Vault 2 on Fantasy Grounds. And then Field Guide to Monster Harvesting Volume 1 recently just came out as well. And you see it's Volume 1. And it's going to be a 2-part PDF series talking about new mechanics for harvesting monsters and using them for items, consumables, making better weapons and equipment. Like everything that you love about Monster Hunter, this is about. Like this brings that to your game. And so all your rangers out there, all of the people, like if you're just doing like a monster hunting campaign where you're like, oh, there's all these like huge monsters out there, and like it, or even just like a regular one, and you want to give your players something to do during downtime, and they want to craft and make their stuff better, you know, hunt down specific monsters so that they can make a very specific item to prepare themselves against a big boss. Like you can do all of that now, and it breaks down like, oh, different types of monsters and kinds of materials that come out of it. It gives you examples from our Monster Vault, and I think also like Tome of Beast 1 a little bit. And like it basically it breaks it all down for you so that you can add monster harvesting and crafting things with those harvested parts into your game. And it's only $9.99. So hey, and Volume 2 is coming out pretty soon. So, and we'll talk about that when it does, but it is on its way. Excuse me. It's just buying the yes. No, I understand. I understand. It is very tough and it does suck. Hopefully, we will be having news about it coming to Roll20 sooner rather than later. But again, it's on Roll20. We don't have power over when it happens. Tragically, Iron Bastion Fighter. Oh yeah, from Book of Blades. Great. Yes. Shard is my personal favorite. The moment like the UI feels a little outdated, but once you use it, you're like, oh yeah. Oh, this is the good stuff. And just like being able to like edit everything on such a like granular level and like ease of homebrewing stuff and then implementing it into the VTT. Shard. I love it every time. All right. So those are all the new releases. I would normally do a blog thing because you all know how much I love the blog. But this interview goes longer than every other interview we've had because I'm joined by 5 other people. So it's a lot of people talking, but what they're talking about is so good. And I learned so much about like just it's so good. If you love horror, if you like the Labyrinth, if you like Tales of the Valiant, this is going to be for you. So coming up next is the get on over here. Coming up next is the interview that I had with Batty Bards, one of our Kobold Creates partners, talking about their botanical horror actual play in the Labyrinth called Husk. And I think you all are really going to like it. So I'm just going to send it on off to me from the past. And thank you, me from I do this every time. It's me from my past, you all's present. Hey everybody, I am here with the folks over from Batty Bards, talking about their Kobold Creates project, which I'm not gonna lie is one of my favorites purely because I am a girly for horror. All right, Husk just sounds so sick. I remember reading the initial pitch and like going and like talking with the other marketing team members, and we were looking at this and we were like, oh yeah, this is this is great. This is so good. So I'm so excited to be here talking with all of you. How about we go introduce you all, tell everybody your name and pronouns before we get into it, and we are going to start. Oh no, I don't know if our Zoom is the same for everyone. So let's go in, I was going to say alphabetical order, but that's not great for Zoom either. Let's
Can we
go.
popcorn it?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mm,
Let's start off with Alex and you can popcorn it from there.
okay. Hey, howdy, hi, y'all. My name is Alex. I use they, them pronouns. What am I? I'm a human being and I was the GM for Husk. I currently am the GM for Batty Bard stuff in general, but more on that later. Husk is my baby, our baby. We did so good. Okay, anyways, popcorning it to Duckalicious.
Good Lord, I saw this coming. I didn't have alliteration ready. What's up, y'all? It's your family favorite friend Duck here in the building. They, them pronouns. I had a wonderful blast. I dream about it at night. I wake up screaming in terror. Oh no, about your favorite sad boy dream, Bree. um, had an amazing time playing this session with everybody. I'm gonna pass it over to Satine.
Hello, my name is Satine Bonnet, pronouns my name and none. And, I had a great time too being the other sad boy with an eye playing the game. Yeah, I played Ansel. So let me go ahead and popcorn it to Apple.
Hello, everyone. My name is Apple Juice. It's Apple Juice spelled like Beetlejuice. I use any and all pronouns. If you would like to check it out, I play Curtis Copernicus, the human rogue who is truly in so far over their head and has no clue what's going on the entire time, but they're doing their best and are having a blast doing it. And by a blast, it's an explosion blast that is incredibly dangerous and not good for their health at all. And I will go ahead and popcorn it over towards Blue.
Hello, all my people in my phone. I'm Blue. My pronouns are they, they. I'm known in the internet streets as King, Venus King with a Y. Um, and yeah, I played Kyrene Asanim. Not a sad boy at all. Kyrene's fine. Everything is fine, actually. It's all so fine and dandy. And I'll pass it back to Kendo.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, lots of sad boys in here. And
Mhm.
also very normal people also, so that's okay.
Very normal.
Very normal, very cool. Well, well, tell me a little bit about Batty Bards itself. How did it get started? What is it to you all, and why is it that you do actual plays? Why tell stories? Playing games with your
Hmm.
friends.
Why tell stories is
One of my
such a good
favorite
question.
questions.
Right. Why tell stories? Because we black. I'm sorry. That's my reason. Legitimately, like it sounds like goofy, but it oral storytelling, the tradition of I don't know, just sharing history, sharing art, sharing, period. Through the tradition of telling stories, through oral history, through talking, through playing the dozens, roasting one another. That is Black culture, period. So to add clickety clackety dice and be able to be an elf or a dwarf or a GM who enjoys tormenting their players, it's all great. It's great. So you asked a few questions. Okay. So what is Batty Bards?
Yeah, how do I guess now like how does Batty Bards like extend from that thought process for you?
So for me, I'm not speaking for my team, but I will say for me. So there is something important, in my opinion, about being a visibly Black, queer, and trans person in the TTRPG space. Just off the strength of the fact that when me was getting into TTRPGs, the first thing that I heard was Taz, and like love them down, but they are white cishet men. And same, the next biggest one was Critical Role, and then there was Dimension 20, and all of these are headed by like white cishet men. These are a lot of the space in general is very pale and very cishet, and and that's the reality of the situation. But when I was coming into this space, it would have been nice to have seen people who were like me, people who were non-binary and queer and Black and loud about all of those facts because they're bomb, and people who were loudly neurodivergent, chronically disabled. Like that kind of stuff is important to me. Um, so in telling stories with the bards, in telling stories with this team, we create a table for people like us, a place that wasn't, to our knowledge, in existence before we started. And I think that is fundamental. That is paramount. It's important work. And the fact that I get to tell cool stories with some of my best friends, I mean, it's a win-win-win-win-win over here. But I'll open it up to the team. What do y'all think?
Yeah. All at once.
Honestly, I agree. Like, I feel like we've said this before too, is that like one of the reasons Baddie Bards was started, but just further expanding on Alex's point, is because we wanted to see Black, trans, queer folk at the forefront of stories, which is not often the case. That's it. Since that was truly like the whole reason. It at least for me felt like I want people who live at the same intersections as I do to like see the stories we're putting out and feel seen, because I don't often feel seen in the media that like I may indulge in or like used to indulge in while growing up. So yeah, it's nice to be able to do that and do it with good old friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me, like too, I agree wholeheartedly with Blue and Alex's take. I think that is kind of what Batty Bards means to me specifically as well. Just kind of not necessarily like, well, I guess yeah, like creating space, for people who have not been necessarily centered or like at least featured very visibly and prominent in the TTRPG spaces and things like that. And then kind of going back to like as to why telling stories. I do also believe that stories and play and games can inspire people, can also provide safety and escapism and just a like fantastical like supportive and safe space to kind of indulge in joy and to experience joy and to experience radical and active and resolutionary joy. And creating a space for that while also being able to explore themes where it may not be as safe to explore them out into the real world, in a space again surrounded by some of my best friends, has been a great experience. So yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
For me, at any place I go and any table I sit at, just in general, I just say the overarching what Batty Bards is all Black, all trans, all queer, podcast. That is like our title. That is our joy that we bring, that trans, queer joy everywhere we go. And already everyone says everything I wanted to say. But I also want to add like our tables do provide that safety to test out things that ideas and like character types that I always wanted to try out and be any gender, any type of gender, trans level. And I just feel like it's just a joy being at the table.
It is, Satine, and I like that you said that like we create a space where it is safe to try these things out because it's safe to try them out in a space without shame. Like I can't speak for anybody else, but like personally, me growing up, I had like a lot of shame surrounding my identity and like the way I was exploring gender. And so like being able to like explore that through storytelling is really cool.
Yeah, I can't really speak too much on the baddie bards aspect of things. I just stepped into the room. My aspect, I'm gonna get to like my reasoning for storytelling, and I'll talk about the experience in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have always been a creator of some kind. Not I don't like using the word creator because it takes away a lot of the fun that is the word art in a sense. I've been an artist. We're all artists in a sense. Growing up, we made comic books as like as class project into like being a theater graduate and what I do in my real life experience. Storytelling has always been a fun aspect of expression. And there's a part of that that exists solely in the TTRPG space where you get to express things in different aspects. And a lot of my normal circles tend to lean more into like the mechanical combat heavy. How do we express this? And you watch a lot of the media like Dropout, like Critical Role, and you see the expansion, like the reaches that this kind of expression you can have in. And that was kind of one of the joys I had of being at this table, is being able to see that further reaches of that like expression. And like for a first time 6 episode experience, it was a lot more fulfilling than I feel like I've ever had the opportunity to be at a table where, and we'll talk about this as we go through your questions. Things got real. And it was even after the conversations, sitting down and talking about those experiences, things continue to like exist in like a expressive, cathartic kind of space. And that is like from what my perception of Baddie Bars has been phenomenal. Is that group catharsis that wasn't really planned to exist in, but you've kind of just settled into as you go through what you're going through. And I found that one of the more enjoyable things about being at this table.
I love that. It sounds like you all very much like this is a space for all of you to come together and express all of those things together in a safe
Exactly. Yeah.
place where that is very rare in a lot of TTRPG spaces purely because of the history of it. But I love that you all are creating that space, not just for yourselves, but uh, as proof that it can be done, as proof that
Yeah.
that people like yourselves, like me,
Mhm.
exist within these spaces. And if you can sit down, play these games, tell these stories, then why can't they? And that's
Mhm.
wonderful.
Exactly.
So when it came to bringing all of that together, right? Bringing the bringing the bringing the power of this table together, and then bringing Husk. Well, what was that like? What was it? I guess for the people who don't already know the pitch, what's the pitch for Husk, and how and what inspired it and all of your characters as you were starting to put it together?
First, go hand it off to Alex 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's Alex's bag right there.
Yeah.
The pitch for Husk. So basically the idea is that my players are in a tired and bedraggled party that has just come from a huge boss battle, and they enter a town that's a little bit too friendly. And they see that things are like surrounded by a specific type of flower. And when they ask why or delve into why this is happening, they enter the labyrinth. They enter everywhere. So the general idea behind this was, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I saw this a few years back. I was looking for like plot bunnies on Reddit, like looking for plot hooks and stuff, just scrolling as you do, seeing if anything caught my interest. And there was one where like they said, oh, the plants are, messing with people's heads. Go on from there. And I was like, oh, and then I started looking for carnivorous flowers because that feels like an oxymoronic phrase, but it's really not. And I didn't want like your standard, milk toast Venus flytrap. I wanted something different. and I found what I was looking for, and it inspired it turned into a rabbit hole from there. Now, like, part of the pitch, if I recall correctly, part of the pitch was Sims 4 Strangerville. Like,
Yes.
the people being a little silly when they're walking around, like the whole thing, all of it, the thing, Little Shop of Horrors, There Is No War in Bossing Say, like all of these different cultural touchstones. I was like, okay, let's smush it together, give them an NPC to mourn, and then toss them in the labyrinth and see what's up. And boy, howdy, am I glad I did. They did an
That's
awesome job.
That's so good. I need you to know that the Sims 4 Strangerville specific inspiration got a lot. Like I ended up getting a full like hour long talking to from my from our marketing director Dot, as she was just breaking down. So you're doing this, and then all of a sudden there's all of this, and I was like, well, we got to put this shit because that sounds
I'm
great.
glad. Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
that's so good. So when you all were given this pitch of you're going to show up into this place and things are going to be a little too normal, where did where did that take all of you creatively?
Ooh. All right. So I was strongly brought in by Little Shop of Horrors. Like I said, theater is in my blood. So I was like, yes, I'm all for it. Don't feed the plant. It'll be great. And I've always had an idea, and I guess in a sense, with that in my mind, I came at this from a very Seymour Hoffman kind of an approach to it, in over your head. Um, and I've always dreamed of playing a character that was way in over their head. I think in my session 0 with Alex, we talked about this, creating somebody who was only there for like a specific mundane goal and just has to survive. And then from there, with a lot of like great like yes it's okays, and sure, oh, we love this ideas from the group about like romantic part and like how the party moved together, it created what is honestly like, I don't think I'll ever have another character like Brain in any position I will ever play that is as like real and raw, because we came into this wanting, yeah, it's gonna be a scary time, and what we got was scary for the revelations of a human being, quote unquote, that you have, that really like added more into like my approach. Like, and I can't even say I could prepare for the game that we played, because it was so far out of left field from where we actually went with it. But it was a lot of like the comfort that the collaboration from everybody made it a lot easier for me to take bigger swings with a character that I wanted to be more mechanical and more show off what we can do, and was able to like really settle into like who is as this thing is going about.
That's dope.
I know for me as well, at least for Curtis, I think I had also approached it from a sort of character in over their head situation, and I think that Bream and Curtis play very well off of each other. Like throughout the campaign, is just two regular people who are in over their heads with all this fantastical magic, and I think kind of what I leaned into, kind of hearing the kind of horror, the aspects of Bossing Say, was like, okay, it's normal, but it's too normal, and it was just very fun for me to play. Okay, I'm a quote unquote like normal-ish, average-ish, mundane person. This party of grand adventurers and magical heroes. They kind of know what normal is, but I am just normal enough to know that this town's like cosplaying of normal is not normal at all. And then also being in the position to, due to being entirely mundane, being able to like have the kind of grand reactions that a setting like the Labyrinth, that the story that Alex wove together kind of like warrants, almost, of being able to be like overwhelmingly like confused and impressed, and having that alien overwhelming like oh my god feeling of the like scale of magic and the scope of magic that the setting and that the story kind of explores throughout. So that was real fun for me. Popcorn Satine.
See,
I
there
was
you
trying
go.
to get
That's how
all
you
my
get the
stuff together, because as soon as possible, like when I heard the Alex and me, when I start getting an idea, horror is my favorite genre. So I was like, Alex, here's a 6-page information about my character background that I have already set up. And my pitch, like with the first sentence was Ansel DeFalce was born to die. That was the first sentence I gave to everyone for my character. So Ansel was a character that I took in. I was like, okay, we have a regular background of someone escaping something, but what can I turn it up to make it very horrifying? And throughout the whole gameplay, Ansel is like a very earnest person, very like, I feel like the kind of the glue when certain situations happen.
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely the glue. Yeah.
So like when we slowly started getting into Ansel's actual background and me talking to Alex about the concept of what can family obligation mean? What can be I'm trying to get the good words for it because I had it like if you are obligated to be someone and to take that form of someone, but no longer be yourself, what does that look like for a character? I'm trying to work around what the spoilers of this character is because it's the idea of like, I do not have any control of my life, but the only way, what control I have is just running. So the group was a perfect, fun time to be together. I'm quoting.
Perfect fun time.
Fun time. Because there was a lot of sad boy moments with I.
How about you, Blue?
Well, question, should I go into like lineage and heritage class and all that stuff?
Yeah, feel more than free. And we can lead that back into everyone
Move
else
it back
doing
in.
the same.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. I played Kyrene Assanem, pronouns he, they. Kyrene is a hero. Capital HTM. Kyrene is a very empathetic, charismatic, emotional plant baby who is a very good liar and loves to test their luck. They're a chaos magic sorcerer whose emotions like largely influence their magic in a pact of the Reaper Warlock with a lovely little cheeky companion who is a Flender beast named Opal. Kyrene is a Siderian, but instead of being like Starborn or Plain Touch, I flavored them as being caressed, if you will, by the Fae. So like instead of like their otherworldly guys being like the celestial heavenly wings vibe, I went with like flower bug like whimsy. And I went with the Vex background because I thought it would be fun to play with the idea of like working alongside their patron and this archfey named the Forge Fae, but also like absolutely not wanting some greater power to tell them how their life should go. And I found that really fun to play with because towards the end of Husk, it was something we explored where Kai comes to a point where they have to like make a decision on whether they are going to go along with the path laid before them by these like unknown forces or like trust in their loved ones, trust in their partner who is Curtis. Shout out to that doomed couple. I love them. And I'm just excited to see how people perceive it. Yeah, Kai is a hero. Like my inspiration for Kai is like a heaping of like Princeps Charming, Himmel from Freeren, a dash of Volt from Date Everything, and low-key, high-key Superman. Because like very empathetic, smooth, daring, serves I can't say that word. Serves an immense amount of what's another word I'm thinking of?
You know the word.
Y'all know the word I'm thinking of. You're picking up a telepathic text message, but I can't say it here. But yeah, and has this deep belief that like the world is like inherently is a shit place to them, but through their lies or through this like ability to lie, they can spin this tale of like hope and whimsy and betterment. And the world has no choice but to believe in it. And I spent a lot of time talking about this, like, why does Kai do things they do with like Apple and like Calyx and stuff? And it just came to, they're a hero because if we have the ability to do good and change the world, then we should do so, because there are more people who can't. And if they can't, it has to be up to somebody. So it should be up to us. And they deeply believe in that. And that is a very interesting topic that we explore in this story, where like the rest of the party is like, no, we don't need to do that. We have things that we need to do, and it's certainly not that. And Kai is just like, even when they're trying not to be the hero, they are still like falling into that trap of like being the hero and trying to save the day without tending to their self or tending to like his own emotions, and like the loss that the party like has experienced. And so yeah, I'm really excited for people to see my baby. They're a very old OC of mine that is like in this iteration of this story. And yeah, we play with some really interesting topics. Like, I don't want to get too much into it, but the things that go on between Curtis and Kai and fucking Kai and Breen is delicious. It is so freaking good. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait for people to see it. And I'm deeply curious of like what people will think about the conversations that these people have and like how they explore these interpersonal relationships. So that was my favorite part about it a lot. It's like exploring this world and like playing with, you know, the labyrinth and like truly not having any freaking idea of how we're gonna like make it through this thing, but like also dealing with like the high emotions of these dynamics between the party. Like, Ansel is the baby of the party. They really are the glue that keeps like the party together. And like, what happens when that's not enough? What happens when like the baby you had to keep the marriage together ain't enough? You know what I mean? Like,
you get 3 different Christmases.
What happened?
Three different Christmases.
There will be 3 Christmases. There will be 3 Christmases.
Oh my God.
I want to hop in next,
Yes,
just
please.
because I want the viewers, listeners, whoever, to pin this as the thing to look for when Kyriem is hero, capital HTM. The no, stop, what are we doing? That's all Bream. Where I'll take claim and stake on that one. That's all me. That's all you boy.
Truly.
And that is because through this, and the only peek behind the curtain that I will comfortably give is you are watching a group struggle with a question of morality, a question of like, who are we? That is the fear, the overarching fear, the human fear, the emotional fear that the party exists in, is that heroism, that heroic desire in everybody at a time when you don't feel like doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be doing that right now. Bream, just lineage, heritage, class details, is just a humble blacksmith. Mother was a blacksmith, father was a toy maker, is a dwarf. One of, honestly, hands down, the most incredible classes I have ever laid my eyes on.
You have so much shit up your sleeve. It
A
was
mechanist,
amazing.
metallurgist
Yeah,
is
you
one
really-
of the greatest. Like, I do not like support mon, support character, support anything. I'm not healing you. I'm getting in there. I'm doing DPS. I don't play cleric. But when I saw the mechanics class, my eyes lit up with the possibilities, lit up with just the customization, the access. Ooh, I could do anything here.
Yeah.
At a point we were trying to, I was so trying to convince Alex, give us 3 more levels, please. There's so many cool things that I can do.
I gave them 10. I was like,
I
make it
want
work.
to show off so many things. I could Green Lantern this entire area. And
So
it was
good.
No, really, truly could though.
And so that creating a character, which we did not have a conversation about this heroism, humanity aspect beforehand. It developed on its own. Creating Bream, who has all these heroic, not concepts, heroic abilities. Like one of the things that me and Alex talked about as we were building Bream was, what is Bream's one hard truth? And that was, he can build his way out of anything. He can craft his way out of anything. Any situation he's in, he can make something to get out of it. And we see that get really tested consistently throughout this story. And the overarching question where it is battling Kyrene's desire to be a hero and balancing Ansel's innocence to keep the party together and alive until ...
I'm just gonna point in the back. If you see me, there's a little sign right there.
And
Antagonist.
and the background we had made for me and Apple Juice clearly takes a massive turn where I don't think any of us was prepared for where our dynamics landed.
No, that landed so cool though.
No.
The background of how we built our characters and how I built Bream specifically really shined in that overarching concept of that moral pillar that you will see play out between Kyrene and Bream, of like the direction and like the future of what's going to happen to the four of us at the end of what the story says.
Definitely, Kyrene and Bream are foes to each other a lot. The idea of who like, as explained before, is like, okay, this event happened. This is a very sad event that happened. Oh, we get thrust into another adventure. Can we just stop 1 minute? But it kept going.
Can we breathe for a second? Literally, can we make it a long
There
rest?
is no stop.
We can
for
do those long rests I've been hearing
this
about.
entire
I'd
show.
love a long rest.
We would love
A
a
long rest. They got a single long rest, and I think that was generous.
Out of all
Out of
episodes.
6 episodes?
Yes.
Out of
One
6
long
episodes,
rest.
yeah.
When I tell you the horror, we'll get into the next question.
The true horror of just like, oh, okay, we very low right now, so
There was a
listen.
there was a nightly conversation of, oh, who's dying tonight?
Oh.
Nightly.
And no one did much. Y'all live.
I'm staring at you right now.
Ringing the bell.
We're not getting
Staring at
into spoilers, but I
you.
feel like
The sounds
No one
device.
died much.
Your
Came
audience
back.
at the moment.
at the end
Alex
of
was
this,
like, nobody died, and like Kyrene haunted, traumatized.
Clip that
More
moment from
flashbacks.
Alex, and then watch what happens, and then come
Yeah.
back and see that reaction again.
That's wild.
let me just say, I ended with 25 hit points.
Mhm.
And I'm
Out of how many?
135.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I
Oh.
think
It got
at least
hectic.
like for Curtis. Curtis is like cosmopolitan heritage. So they're just like a person of like, just regular cities of trade and commerce and just like mundane stuff. They are a human rogue, thief subclass. They do not have an ounce of magic to their name, and so they are so far out of their depth in regards to everything that is going on here. I think what was really fun to explore, and this kind of does go into like the next question of like how horror kind of played into 5e and like how we kind of lead into like the terrifying aspects of it. I think Curtis is someone who approaches like adventurers with like, oh, like y'all are horror movie monsters, because like what do you mean like I've stabbed you 17 different times and you're still coming at me just as hard, and then you take a rest for 8 hours and all your stab wounds are instantly healed, and you just that's just the reality of your situation or what you're working with. What but I think like leading into like that of just being deeply impressed and unsettled by the kind of fantastical elements that we as like players of 5e have like gotten so used to. I think that was like fun to lean into the horror aspects of it. And then I also think that D&D and like 5e and Tales of the Valiant, I think at their core, the systems are built for like empowerment almost. Like I think that they are geared towards empowerment, and so doing horror is incredibly kind of tricky in a sense. And I think Alex did craft that in a very, very tangible and very like interesting way, where it's, yes, stuff is crazy, stuff is scary and unsettling, and there are threats that even at our level 10 and beyond that we start this adventure with, there is a feeling of like out of your depth and feeling of powerlessness where the things at your disposal are not enough for the world. And even if you are a hero that has faced threats before, you are not a stranger to the world. And then there is also the regular like mundane horrors of like, oh, like what's more terrifying than uh carnivorous plants, and there is no war and bossing say and all these feed me Seymour type thieves. It's the small terrors that I think like Blue and Bree were talking about, like the interpersonal conflicts of figuring out who you are as a person. It's like the small horrors of like, okay, not only are you're not alone with your thoughts, you are surrounded by people you have fought with, and you are not supported in your thoughts. You are alone, surrounded by people who do not understand you. I think that each party member does kind of go through those sort of like feelings of loneliness and the schisms, and when the glue is not enough, as Blue was talking about earlier, and morality, as Doug was talking about earlier, and then just kind of leaning into horror in 5e from a sense of, okay, this system of empowerment of you feeling like you're a hero, it's not enough here. And I think we as players did really good like playing off of that, and I think Alex as a DM did a phenomenal job of kind of leaning into that. So very good stuff to see.
That's so well said. Like, yeah, the horrors isn't exactly like the setting itself. It is navigating these relationships and like your thoughts and the choices you make and the repercussions, good or bad, from like those choices.
Yeah. Alex, sorry, my throat just really dry
You're
all
so
of a
fine.
sudden. For you listening to everyone here talk about
Mm.
how amazing of a job you did and how everyone did, what when you were going into this, when you were coming to put this pitch together, when you were thinking about the labyrinth, right?
Mm.
What was it about the labyrinth that that helped, that you think helped you all kind of lean into this direction? Or is there anything about the setting or aspects of the labyrinth that you think really helped you pull on those strings of isolation and powerlessness?
Yeah, definitely. Like the labyrinth, if I'm understanding it correctly, because I don't do good with like reading the whole source book, I will skim and do my best, right? So, with that in mind, the labyrinth, from what I understand, is it's a place between places. It is the path and it is also the door. So, in my understanding, the labyrinth is simply the vastness of a multiverse. Like you can be in like a shadowed world or a brighter world or whatever, what have you. There can be monsters, there can be gods, there can be demons, there can be anything. And the sheer gargantuan possibility that like that setting offers. I love a portal. I love a multiverse. I do. I'm a big fan. In our main campaign in Echo, we're hopping from planet to planet. Here, we get to hop from dimension to dimension. Tell me more. You told me everything I need to know. You know what I mean? And the portals, like, sometimes it's a pathway, sometimes it's an artifact, sometimes it's a mirror. The fact that I can do whatever I want to do, period, and it still fits, it works. It works because I am very much like, okay, I'm one of those people. The very first game that I ever DM'd was fully homebrew. I didn't look at a module, never cracked a DMG, none of it, right? And that's how I build the bones for this story, is simply by letting my imagination run wild and picking and choosing from these different like little touchstones and touch points. And it's been said before, but the bulk of my work comes in session 0. After that, I write some notes and let my players take it from there. And they did incredibly. This is my first foray into horror. I wanted like, jump scare, like that kind of horror, and ended up with something much more psychological. So I'm not mad at where we landed, not at all. It was great. But this does make me want to mess with Tales of the Valiant some more. Labyrinth like is a really cool setting. I like the idea of exploring the different worlds. Like the Summerlands, of course, is where we start. And the Summerlands in general just inspired me because you said elves and fae, and I was like, ooh, pretty. Okay, now make it scary. And that was great for me. So yeah, I honestly and truly Husk is the result of powerhouse players telling an incredible story. They took the reins in a beautiful way, and I'm so pleased with where we ended up.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. For all of you, when it came to making your characters and such, because I was getting a little bit of those lineages, those backgrounds and stuff. I'm interested on your take of, do you think that the options that you were given throughout the character creation process, right, of choosing your lineage, your background, and your heritage, especially those things being broken up into several options, how did that help you form who your character was, or how did it help you express who you already knew your character would be?
It allowed for so much creative freedom that like largely I would homebrew, in my like other games, but I didn't have to because it's just right there in the system. Like when we hit level 12, we were like leveling up or whatever, and I chose like an ability score improvement, but I could also choose like a freaking feat. And I was like, oh, that's really sick. And I really, really, really like that's probably one of my favorite things about this, that I could have the best of both worlds. And it's not like OP. You know what I mean? I get my little +1 and I get like a little fun little feature, but the way I play with it is what really makes it. Kyrene has so much going on. I tend to make characters that have a lot going on that are very maximalist, honestly, like kind of vibe to them. And I was able to play with that really well with this system. I had a lot of fun with it, and I really like the expanded talent list. I really enjoyed the talents. They felt useful, like for lack of a better word. Like they felt useful. They felt like, they made sense for my character, and I just really enjoyed it. I think my favorite part of like my class was the volatile spell effect table.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
So much. I love it so much. Kyrene's whole deal is like their magic like runs on their emotions. So when they're experiencing like extremely like emotional situations, they have to roll a save. And I thought that was really fun to play with because I am a mess around and find out type of person at all points of my life, unfortunately and fortunately. And so like I was eager to be able to roll on the table. I was ready to fail because I wanted to yes and it every time. And just like the things that are on the table, like I think it's one where like you cast a fireball centered on yourself, but it doesn't go off unless you're like I'm sorry, excuse me, covered in water. And I was like, what? And if one of my earlier character ideas was like, oh, it'd be a lot of fun to play like a really like paranoid, like what's the word I'm thinking of, like superstitious chaos magic sorcerer who's like, let me throw this pinch of salt on my shoulder just in case like a wave comes out or something like that. And I kind of still play with that like with Kyrene. But it was, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I really enjoyed the talents. It even I mess around with like making different leveled characters, and even at like lower levels I still felt like the things I had in like my back pocket mattered and didn't feel like I was just waiting for the next level. It still felt like I had a lot of stuff to play with, which I deeply enjoyed. But we haven't played like a high level campaign like this before. I think this is maybe the highest level we've been in like our games. So I was begging Alex, like, please let us be high level. Please. I want to be high level for once. And so even like it was a lot to play with. It was a lot of freaking fun.
It definitely felt like, I don't want to say kid in a candy store because I feel like that allows for like so much anything. I liken it a lot closer to like going into a card shop. You know what you know what you want. You know what you're looking for. If I'm looking for Pokemon cards today, that's what I'm grabbing. And seeing oh, there's a plethora of things for me to have access to here. Like with playing a mechanist, I was like, I want to be hard combat support. And I gotta say, augmentations, what a thing. What a beautiful
Ew.
thing to do.
Mhm.
There are multiple just like shields, armor, swords. I have augmented for this moment and this
I can
moment and
fix
this
that.
moment. I can do this over here. I can do this over here. And it just got to a point where it was I don't even want to play Bream anymore. I just want to show off what I can do because it's all this fun stuff. And then going into the talents, and there was a moment where we all sat down when we hit level 12. We were like, all right, what are we taking? What do I need? Because nothing I have in my back pocket can do anything. What talent can help us as soon as possible?
I
And
love how like a lot of times we were in session and Duck was like, I want Bream to like show this off. And I'm like, I
I
want
wanna-
to see it too.
I
I
want
want
to
to
show off all this cool stuff I can do, but I can't because I'm sad. And that's the entire game.
Because
And
I'm
there's-
sad.
There's so
Because
many
I'm
moments
sad.
of that where it's like this is such a fun system. I have so much cool stuff we can do. We have all this luck stuff, and I have all this blind and
Man.
paralysis stuff.
Luck
I
was
say
so
paralysis
clutch.
like it's not paralyzed.
Luck was a great mechanic.
And just being like, I want to just show off all this cool stuff we can do, and I'll do it for a moment, and then it's can't do this, too far away, can't do this, I'm sad. And so it's like sitting. I was sitting on what I believe was a treasure trove of things that the character creation gave you to use, and it was just like, wow, terrible place to bring this stuff into the fight. But the moment I could use it, like it's like a paranoid person with like a satchel full of stuff. I liken it in one of our after talks. I likened it to there's an anime called The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, where it's a very aggressive.
I know exactly what you're
Yeah.
talking
Very
about.
aggressive,
Yeah.
beautiful, phenomenal anime if you ever get a chance to watch it. But a very aggressive, like using healing magic on yourself and to augment things and to like you're building muscle because your muscles are breaking, but you're healing your muscles, so you're becoming more muscular. And that aspect of like, oh, I can fix this, I can be faster at this moment. Next round, I'm doing heavy damage, and next round, I'm helping you out, and next round, I'm doing this, and I'm across over here, and I'm all the way over here, and being able to like envision a character like Bream just off of what the feats are. It was like everything was built and tailored specifically for this very specific character where it didn't feel too much. It got to a point where we were picking out magic items and I was like, I don't need anything.
Yeah.
I got a pot for cooking for character reasons because I just don't need any magic. We use the pot. We use the pot.
We did use
did.
the pod.
We did.
That's so
But it
Delicious.
I was given all the tools, and that was probably one of the most like I don't have to like fill in any gaps
Yes.
because of how the character creation granted Bream the character.
That's so sick.
And I know for me, like I know we like I've talked about it like at length because because like it's the mechanics themselves lend so much to the creativity itself, of like the mechanics feeding into creativity. I do think also like the flavor tech, and I think me personally, I appreciated like the wording of like how certain things were like created like in the book itself. I think that this is the first time I think ever played a human and wanted to play a human just because of like how they were like described in the book. Of like, I forget what exactly like the line was, but it was like, oh, like humans are like the youngest of the lineages, like they are everywhere, they are adaptable. And I think that sort of inspired me to create Curtis as someone who is a fish out of water but is still like doing their best to like adapt and roll with the punches, and how that played into them as a character. I like not to compare it to like, you know, like standard like 5e or whatever. I think like, you know, like race and background, those are like adequate like ways of like how to like, you know, build a character. But I do think like the phrase of like lineage and heritage kind of just works a little bit better. Like I guess like it's species now, like the new 2024, but I think like lineage and heritage is like, okay, lineage, like where you come from, not just like, you know, what you are. And then heritage, you know, like the life you have lived. So like, you know, the lives before you and the life that you have lived, lineage and heritage, and those two things together forming the foundation of a character. And just like the text itself really like, I don't know, truly like sparkles in my eyes. Like I kind of want to play a human now because yeah, and that was like the first time. It was a deeply enjoyable experience. So and then building, you know, off of that the other class and things like that. The rogue in this system is very fun, and being a paranoid, can't say that, being a paranoid son of a gun, being a paranoid son of a gun, and the mechanics allowing you to play that paranoia and play it well as someone who is always on edge, and being able to kind of be alert and being scrutinous, and the talent themselves providing doorways to interact with the DM and with the story in ways. I think it was called like discerning eyes Bream had, where it's just like you get to like ask a question or like know if an item's a curse.
The
like, ask
eyes
a
of the
question
maker
regarding
and
yeah,
just being
Eyes
able
of the
to
maker.
touch
regarding the
stuff.
nature of an item. And there are so many, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. There are so many things in this system that feels like they have taken like DM fun into account, of giving the players opportunities to give back to their DM of like, please tell me about this story and this thing that you have crafted, and mechanics directly feeding into giving players opportunity to facilitate the DM's fun as well. And then
Yeah.
also giving the DM opportunities to feed into player fun, even when they fail, kind of like, you know, with the luck system, and being able to build, you know, those points with the ups and downs of the stories linearly. And I think that it comes together very, very nicely, and I am a little bit obsessed with the system now, and I will probably be trying to DM something myself in this labyrinth the earliest opportunity I can get.
Yes.
Yes, please.
I do like being
Yes, please.
rewarded for my failures. I have to say, I do like the luck system a lot. Praise me anyway, even if I fail. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it especially in a system like 5e, right, where sometimes a failure during your turn just kind of means it's done and over with.
Yeah.
And then your turn's
Exactly.
over. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
I'm a rogue. I can attack exactly once, and I do my big sneak attack.
Well, I
then, oh,
won't
rolled
say
a
that
two.
that doesn't happen.
At the very least, we
Right.
get something. We get
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then it makes it easier to kind of not have those when you get to learn from your mistakes. And I think that does feed into like real life. You know, you learn from your mistakes and you build experience, and then the next time you do attempt something, you literally, you know, storily and, you know, mechanically all get to have those failures build you into a better person, not just your successes. And I think mechanically that's a good message, and just naturally that's a good message. So yeah,
Yes.
very much enjoyed.
I love that.
I'm just going to introduce like my character. Like I didn't get a chance to tell what
Please.
they are.
Please.
Ansel the False is the pronouns it, they, she, and they played their lineage was Beast King, Chimera Beast King, Heritage of Vexed, and class was Monk Flickering Dark. So when I first saw you ready doing the thing? So when I was a nightmare on the field, let me say that first. There was a part, let me say, there was a battle situation where one feature got me out of it. Real quick, it turned the story real quick. So like the ability to teleport, thank you. Thank you. So like my character, this is the first time I ever played Monk before. So when I was looking through the book, I was like, okay, what character do I want to see? Because usually there are characters, I had played a fighter before. I was going to do something really, really mean to Alex, being a battle master fighter with Monk. But I was going to say...
That's rude.
That is very rude, but
That's
I was
rude.
like, okay. I already have a nightmare of a character right there. What I have set up. Like when I was like talking to anybody, I said, do not come by me. The flames will consume you. I will make you make a roll every single time. Every time you finish a roll,
Continue to press like casters. This ain't where you want to be. I was like,
Nope.
say less. That's all
the-
you gotta say, player.
I was like, don't come by me. I'm trying to look for what I got was what was it? I was trying to look for it. Nevertheless, it was something with the caster, like can't come by me, one of the talents I received. And then on top of that, I took another feat for Vanguard. So I got casters I can't come. No one can come close to me. I could just take, if someone want to do an opportunity attack, they don't do that. They can't do that.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
That face me.
I was like,
Good
I was
morning,
just like,
Matt.
hey, I did this. I said, no, you didn't. Because there's like the one feature I really did enjoy was the obsidian eyes. I gave it to another character, Apple's character, so they were a top-notch rogue with that ability. And the ability to not get blinded, perfection. But I really enjoyed it. I thought I was going to get overwhelmed with being a monk because there was so much to look. I even had like a little side card, like shuffling around and everything just to see all my moves. But after a while, I was like, okay, I know how many technique points this takes, how much I need to do with this. And the system just really, thank you for luck. Number one.
I like that one.
You're welcome.
The best. There was moments, but the ability to have like the options that was provided,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this being a monster on the field.
Give me the whole menu. Didn't you keep track of all your stuff via, what did you say? I think you used Trello.
Yes, I used Trello. I had Trello,
That was really smart.
and then also this other Foundry at the same time. So like I could look at, I was like, okay, this is the technique.
Yep.
Okay, let me look back. How many points? Click that, and went back and forth.
I loved using Foundry through this because this was actually my first time using Foundry, like for a game, and I do like the way I like the way it rolls. I really enjoyed it because for me, with having to roll my saves for, you know, like chaos magic stuff, it was nice that I didn't have to like manually input my spell level. I could just put my little bar in there, pop that, save it, and it was really cool. And the dice weren't messing me up. Like I do not like using virtual dice. I'm so against it. But like also Foundry lets you customize your dice and they were so pretty. So when I rolled that once, it would crack the screen and stuff. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, like when I'm gonna circle back to what I was saying. So team used Trello to keep up with their stuff. I used Obsidian, their canvas feature, which is really handy for me. But like when I think back on it, I feel like I didn't have to too much because of the way the sheets are made in Foundry and the way even you can like customize the way it shows you like the information like alphabetically or what have you. That I love. I'm such a lover of organization.
I love how this started off with all of you going like, oh, Alex put us through so much stuff, right? It was traumatizing, so on and so forth. And then I'm pretty sure we just had a good like 30, almost 40 minutes of you all going like, and I was able to do this, and it was super cool. And I was a monster on the
You could have two birds in hand.
No, but there was no. Y'all were like, I was a monster on the field. You couldn't stop me.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I gave them 12 levels total.
I was fighting.
I had a blast.
My life.
I learned really cool ways of like creating items on Foundry. It was great. I had stuff in my back pocket. Alex put me through it.
I'm dead.
Personally.
That personally.
Okay.
It's like story is like king to us. So like when we started, I was like, yeah, because you're not usually higher levels. People suggest not to do horror on higher levels because it could be bogging down, like, you know, the scariness of it. But because that when we were focused, like a situation happened at the beginning, we had to use that whole theme throughout the 6 episodes that we did. So we had like, okay, we are focusing on this idea of grief. And how are we going to carry this throughout the whole story? If it was not really like we could do stuff, like for me, there was a point that I really needed to fight somebody. So all the things, the ability I had was right, but that wasn't right for other characters because some characters didn't want to fight. Some characters wanted to have another idea. Some people wanted to fight, but they couldn't because they rolled on a table.
And we're speaking in gibberish.
Yeah, we don't talk
So-
about Bruno.
Story
Not
really did
Bruno.
carry a lot of like it's probably like very rarely do I enter a space where like we allow the story to hold you hostage.
Right.
And we took full advantage of going, I could, no, I can't, I'm sad.
Yes, we
Yeah.
really did.
No,
And I
can't.
love that because like Satine said, yeah, like there was a time where like there was a fight and we all had a choice to fight, but like some of us didn't because of our emotional and like mental states, and that was just true to the characters, and I eat that up. I loved it so much. I just really enjoyed that. It didn't feel like a typical this is your hero party story. It felt like
Mhm.
we were dealing with like this is a hero without the glitz and glamour. This is what it is like actually like behind the scenes of this mantle that adventurers tend to hold up, and that was a lot of fun for me to play with.
I love this. Well, gang, we've gone, I'm sure, way longer than I was expecting. But I loved every
We're certified
single-
yappers. I'm so
I
sorry.
loved
Yeah.
every
Happened
single.
every night.
No, don't say sorry. No,
This
no,
happened
no,
every
no.
night.
It happened
Yeah.
every night, Kendo. Every night. Like an hour after recording, we're still yapping about the recording.
That's how you know it's good. That's how
Yeah.
you know it's
Yeah.
good. Oh my God. Well, thank you all so much. Hey, let everybody know where they can find this, when they can find this, and where they can find all of you out on the social medias and internets and all that good stuff. I'm going to start off with Alex and we can popcorn from there.
Okay. So we have been talking a whole lot about Husk. I think it's one of our best productions yet. If you want to take a peek at the Labyrinth World book in action, if you want to see these incredible powerhouse players tell an incredible story, check it out next Friday? Is that it? Next Friday? Holy guacamole. Yep, October 17th on Batty Bard's Twitch channel at 5:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 p.m. EST. Follow us on Twitch or Blue Sky or all of the places at Batty Bards. If you want to keep up with what's happening, if you want to see, you'll want to see our socials. You will, just to see what's coming up with Husk. So follow us at all the places at Batty Bards. If you want to follow me specifically, hi, I'm Alex. I use they, them pronouns. I was the GM for this. And I do stuff and things on the internet from time to time. You can follow me at AlexAMA_, or just AlexAMA, depending on where you're at. You'll find me. I'm the one with the face. We can popcorn it to apple pie.
Hello, y'all. I am Apple Juice. It's Apple Juice spelled like Beetlejuice. Right now you can primarily just find me right there on Batty Bards. That is where I spend most of my time in public. And if I come out more in public, then I guess you'll know. But for now, I'm content with my friends, my little people, and I will popcorn it over towards Satine.
Hey, I'm Satine Bonnet, pronouns my name and none. You can find me mostly on Blue Sky yapping it up, and also at Batty Bards. I would say if you haven't looked through our catalog, we have plenty to look through. Starting with Echo, we have a lot. So just check that out, and I'm going to popcorn it to Duck.
What's up, gang? It's your resident rock and roller Duck here. I got my alliteration figured out. Thank you so much for the time.
Period.
You can catch me anywhere on the interwebs at Bad Disco Duck. That is at Bad Disco Duck. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/theduck43 show. And if you are into Beyblading in any way, shape, and form, on TikTok at Dirty Duck 43. I'm going to pass this over to the incredible Blue.
It's me, the incredible Blue. Pronouns they, they. You can find me in the internet streets as King, VNS King with the Y, and anywhere Batty Bards is, and for sure, anywhere Jelly Ghoul Studios is. It is indie studio asterisk with created by Bree and I. That's busybrie.love. You should absolutely check her out. We made intergalactic teas, which I love letter to ballroom culture, and actually like y'all can expect that to be releasing edited by Alex like during the winter. We like played a play test of it. It was an amazing time. I cannot wait for y'all to see it. Alex is also a player there. Woo. So yeah, I can't wait for y'all to see that. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Shoot, maybe also on Clears of Spears. I'll be in the season 3 campaign there, so you can expect that soon. And yeah, like Satine said, we have so much in our catalog. We got space westerns, we got cozy taverns, we got whimsy face circuses. Like, baby, we have it all, literally. Something for all of you little freaks out there. So you check it out. And I'm gonna bounce it back to Kendo.
All right, thank you all so much. This has been so good. You all have got to check out Husk. You're literally missing out if you don't. Like you're losing something. You're losing something valuable out of your life. So
all your friends are going to be talking about it, and if you're not, they're all going to laugh at you.
They're gonna laugh
They're
at
not.
you.
I promise.
Before we go,
Sorry.
before we go, I have to correct something, otherwise it's going to stress me out. I said Seymour Hoffman. I know his name is Seymour Crowell. My brain defaulted to Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's
I want to
real
catch
funny.
them. I want to beat all the musical theater watchers right now. I know
Because they
so
would have came
funny.
at you. They
They
would have
would've
came.
came.
I know it's
So
Crowell.
quick.
Yo, I hate to say it, it's already too late. There's already 50 messages in the chat, in the comments.
already
in
live.
the Twitch chat as we
Maybe like
speak.
2 or 3 people backspace the comment they were already typing, but it's too late.
It
It's
kicked
too
in like
late.
20 minutes ago, and I meant to bring it up, and I forgot about it again.
That's so funny.
ADHD.
Oh my god.
Truly.
All right, thank you all so much. This has been amazing. Go check out Husk. And I'm sending it back to you, me from the future. It's me from the future, or I guess the present, technically now, our present. I hope you all enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching it again after having had to put that video together. So I guess I experienced it 3 times, and it's as funny and as amazing as every single time I've watched it so far. I'm really excited to see, because again, I'm a huge horror buff, and I love seeing people use the rules for 5th edition and Tales of the Valiant and like express them in ways that can be horrifying, because there's a lot of people who think that 5e isn't particularly good at horror, but I think if you know how to use the tools and you bend the way that you use the tools, right, like, oh, that most people only get their resources back after taking a long rest, don't put them in a position where they can't take a long rest. Take away those options from them. Take away those things that make them feel stronger, so they have to learn to adapt. And like, that's horror right there. Having all of your agency taken away and you clawing back, trying to take bits and pieces of it so that you can come out the winner in the end. That's beautiful. All right, that's all I've got for you all this week. But come back next week for more Kobold Chats. And we're definitely going to be going through Book of Blades. Hold on, wait. Let me make sure that I didn't already schedule a thing that I forgot. Opening up my calendar. Isn't this really fun for you all? Yep. Nope. Oh yeah, I already had it set for us talking about Book of Blades. So look at that. I was thinking ahead. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I will see you all next week. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel. And don't forget to go out, be bold, be brave, be valiant.